In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to take something like this, just like an absolute mess of hair, and turn it into something like this. Nice flow, middle part, some curtain bangs, a little bit of everything. Absolute first things first, you need to saturate the hair, and I'm talking like as much as possible. It's going to drip. It's going to drip on their face. It's going to drip on their shoulders. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. It's just water. But you need to saturate the hair because if the hair is dry, you are going to have no control over it at all. The wetter the hair is, the more control that you can have over it. So I make sure to go through, fully saturate all the way down to the root before I start doing any sectioning. And now as I'm wetting the hair, I'm using a wide tooth comb and I'm going to start brushing everything back, combing everything back. When you do this, you're going to get an idea of the shape of the head. You're getting an idea of like how the hair lays, the flow. You're basically laying out a roadmap. And now before I get cutting, what I like to do is I like to find right where the head rounds, usually right above the parietal ridge. Use the round of the head and the corner of their head right in that recession point as your guideline or, like your marker. A good easy way to find this spot, lay a comb flat on the side of their head and tilt it. Right where that comb stays in contact the entire time, that's the spot where your section line needs to go through. Comb on bottom, finger on top, pull all the way back to the crown, hold the top part with your hand, comb the rest of that down. That's how you get a nice clean section. Repeating that same step on the opposite side, push with your thumb, meet at the back, and pinch. Now you can grab everything on the top with your hand and comb everything down. The reason why we're doing this is because we need to separate the top from the sides before we even get started. And now that you have a clear definition of what is the top and what is the sides, we are going to pin the top up and come back to that later. An easy way to do this is to grab all that hair, twist it really tight, and then throw 2 clips in there just to make sure it's nice and secure. I didn't trust my guy's hair, so I actually threw a 3rd clip in there just to make sure. Now that things are separated, we have a clean definition of the side and the top. I like to take another clip, pin that little piece away. If not, it kind of flaps around, it gets pulled into the side, and we don't want that. And now this part is totally optional. I like to do it just because it makes things easier and cleaner. Take a section from the top section down to right behind the ear, comb everything behind the ear back, comb everything in front of the ear forward. That hair that we're combing back, if you want to, just to make things easier again, take a clip and just kind of clip it all away. That way we're working on different sections at a time and you're not getting overwhelmed. So right now we're working on that front section. Now that we have a nice clean working section, we can start cutting some hair. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to take a section from the recession point down to the ear in a vertical backward section. So with that angle, think however you want the hair to flow is the angle that you want to pull the hair. In this instance, we want this hair to ultimately flow backwards, so we are going to pull that section in a backward vertical section. I'm also going to pull the section forward before I cut because I want to build weight. The section is pulled, my comb is tucked away with my thumb, and now I'm just going to start snipping away. And remember, anytime you're cutting hair with your palm facing you, don't cut too deep, you will cut yourself. Anything left over at the end, like this little piece here, it's okay, just leave it. Pull it into the next section. So now we're going to go ahead and take our next section, and we're not going to take a big section. We're going to take a little section. The bigger the section, the less control and the more choppy things are going to get. So nice, clean, small sections, and just repeat that over and over. So now I'm taking that section and I'm pulling it forward, and I'm going to find my guideline from that first cut, and we're going to cut at that exact same guideline. Now remember, if you don't see your guideline, don't cut. You're going to have a bunch of different lengths that are all over the place, but you can see here, if I lift this hair, you can now see my guideline from the previous cut, and then we're going to go ahead and just cut it to that. And we're basically going to repeat that same process all the way until we get to the back of the head, the back middle of the head. The only difference is once you pass the ear, you now have a longer guideline that travels all the way down to the back of the neck. Since we want to have some flow back here and we don't want to cut it too short and we know that we're not going to taper the neck, we're going to make sure to elevate it off of the head. That way we keep that length. But again, we're doing the exact same thing. We still have that vertical backward diagonal section that we're pulling, and we're pulling it all the way back. Now that we've got most of the side of the head done, you can see if I take a comb and I pull this back, it starts to flow nicely. And now that we're getting to this back section here, like I said, you're going to have an upper part and a lower part. That upper part is going to basically still be the side of the head, and the lower part is going to be like the nape area. Think of like a mullet. Obviously, we don't want this to be a mullet cut. We want it to be a flow, so we have to make sure that when we're pulling these sections that we're not pressing our fingers or our hand all the way against the back of the neck. We want to pull the hand away from the neck to make sure that we have length back there, but not too much. And again, if I take my comb and I kind of run it through the side, I now can see the flow that's going on and kind of, just get a little checkup. Are we doing okay? Now on this left side, we're going to go uncut. I want you to see it step by step. Vertical, diagonal sections, pulling it all forward, finding that guideline. Same thing, pull that next section, find the guideline, cut. And we're going to go section by section. We're not taking huge sections. We're taking small little chunks and just repeating it. So just at that nice angle right there, because that's how we want the hair to flow. We're not taking big sections, pulling everything forward because we want to add weight on the side. We don't want to pull that weight away. And we're just going to go section by section. Once you pass the ear, now you're going to have two sections. You're going to have one that's on the side of the head and a section that's down at the bottom right here where the nape is. Make sure that your hand is not pressed all the way flat against the nape because we do want some flow back here. We don't want to cut it too short on accident. So, step by step, section by section, keeping these sections as clean as we can all the way until we pull this stuff to the back middle of the head. And that's where we're going to stop and kind of talk about how to transition everything else into that. But I'll let you just watch the rest of this and then we'll talk about how to clean up the nape area. Now that we've reached the back middle, I like to pull a straight line, and we're going to basically do like a mohawk section just on the back of the head. I like to start from that upper part right around the crown, and from here, I'm going to start cutting. And now remember, I'm not finding a guideline here necessarily. This is where we're going to layer and take out a lot of the bulk. If we don't do this, it is going to sit flat on the back of your client's head, giving them almost no volume. And now when we're connecting the middle to the sides, we're going to take that middle section and pull it to the side that you want to connect it to. Find the guideline, trim. It should blend right on in. Once that's all done, you should have this like weird rat tail mullet looking thing at the bottom. We're going to tackle this, instead of using our shears, we're going to use a razor or a feather razor. And now we have our guideline with the two corners. That's kind of what we want. We want that middle section to meet those side sections. So that's the guideline that we're going to use, and we're going to keep more of like a round shape. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull all this hair in the middle. I'm going to pull some tension on it, and I'm going to use this feather razor. And I'm just going to use short, quick, choppy strokes to get that natural kind of textured line in the back. Once you get the majority of it cut, go through and get all those little strays and just like perfect it. Just kind of nitpick it. This is your chance to get to detail the back. And now while you're back here, take this section right behind the ear, pull it all forward, use that feather razor just to soften it up. It might still be a little bit heavy, so this will help it lighten up a little bit, plus give it a nice natural flow. And now the final step before we move to the top is we're going to do a light taper, like a nice natural taper. Make sure you find that ear, use your clipper, do a clipper over comb, debulk everything first. Then I like to go clipper, lever open, and just kind of clean up around the ear. Make sure that you don't dig into the cut. This is just literally outlining the ear. And then we're just going to give them a nice little natural taper, making sure that we do not take the taper too high. It has to stay underneath the height of the ear. And that's it. The sides are done. Now we're going to go ahead and unclip everything. We're going to blend the top into the sides, and we're going to make sure that we create that length and that flow for those curtain bangs in that middle part. Now that we're done with the sides, we're going to go ahead and unpin the top. We're going to fully saturate the top and the sides, and then just comb it all through. And now besides getting the actual length for that front piece for those curtain bangs, we're going to have to figure out what to do with this side piece right here. We need to blend this piece right here on the top to the side. So just like before, we're using that recession point as our guideline. We're going to start from there, but this time we're going to pull apart all the way up to the crown or that cowlick area right in the back. And again, same technique as the beginning. We're going to go right to that recession point on the other side. This time we are going to put the comb on the crown or the cowlick area, and we're going to meet that comb to my finger at the recession point. Once you do that, you can then pinch all that hair away and comb the sides down. Take your comb through that top piece, get a lot of tension. Once you get it all nice and cleaned up together, then you're going to twist real tight, not too tight to where it hurts them, but you're going to twist it tight enough to where it doesn't fall out, and then we're going to put a couple clips in it. And now look, once you pin everything up, you're left with exactly what needs to be cut. Now when you're doing any kind of cut that requires length in the front, you need to remember this little piece right here is going to fall forward. If you cut this as part of the side, it is going to be too short. So what I do, I'm going to take just a little section here that I know is going to end up being part of the curtain bangs or part of a fringe, and I'm going to pin it away. I'm going to pin it away that way I don't accidentally cut it, and I have a nice clean section to work with. And now with my guy's cut, I know that I want a squared shape, so that comb needs to be vertical when I'm cutting and not kind of rounded with the head. I'm standing behind my client. I'm making sure that that is vertical, and then I'm going to cut using that length on the sides that we cut in the beginning as my guideline. And all I'm going to do is work my way from the front all the way around the head to the back. And now, is there other ways to do this where it's a lot cleaner and there's a lot of sections? Yes, of course there are. But let's be honest, most of the time we have to do it something similar to this because it needs to be shop friendly. We have people waiting, we have time slots, we don't have all day to cut, and we need it to be efficient. And you can already see the flow and the dimension and the texture on this side versus this side, the real heavy, flat, weighted down side. And again, one more time, just for good measure, you have this piece on the top that we need to blend into the sides. You can clearly see the length difference between this piece and this piece. We need that top piece to match that bottom piece, but we have to make sure that we do it in a vertical square shape and we don't cut with the round of the head. And again, if you watch the shape of my shears, they're always pointing up and down. I'm not curving them into the shape of the head. They are always pointing towards the ceiling. And we're going to continue to cut all the way around the head until we meet at the back. Now that we've finished with that, we're going to go ahead and unclip this and we're going to start to find that length for the fringe or the curtain bangs on the front. So we're going to pull everything forward, saturate it, and then we're going to stop right here. Before we just cut all this, we need to section this off into two pieces. You need the top piece and then you need the front piece or the fringe. Go ahead and section off a piece right around mid-head, right where the head starts to round. You're going to go ahead and section that hair. Go ahead and take all that that's in your hand and pin that away. We're not going to add that as the length for the front or the fringe just yet. Before you start hacking away this hair though, just separate it, kind of see where you want it to sit at. That way you have an idea what it's going to look like. I'm going to use the bridge of his nose as my guideline. I'm going to pull some tension and I'm going to use my feather razor again and I'm going to put that line in. Now I'm using the razor because I don't want it to be a really blunt line and I want it to have some texture and some movement. Now that that front area is identified, like the length is locked in, I'm going to go ahead and unpin that section that we pinned up and I'm going to comb everything back and just kind of marry the two together. And we're going to do so by combing all the hair straight back. We're going to use your client's eyebrows as your guideline. So we're going to go from one eyebrow all the way back, other eyebrow all the way back, and we're going to create a mohawk section and we're going to blend the front piece to the rest. Starting from the front and working my way all the way back, I'm going to use that front piece as my guideline and just start cutting away. Now here, you can go with the shape of the head. And what I mean by that is as you get towards the crown, the top of the head to the crown area, you can actually pull that guideline a little bit higher. What this is going to do is it's going to add a little bit more volume. It's going to add a little bit more length up there versus just taking it shoulder and shoulder as you go back. And again, using this method, it's going to be much more shop friendly than what you see on Instagram. We're not going to pull a bunch of sections. We already have our guideline down the middle. So I know if I come up here in the front and I pull all this hair straight up, I now see exactly where that guideline is and I know where to cut. And we're just going to take piece by piece, working our way from the front all the way to the back. I'm going to do the same thing from the left front to the left back and the right front and the right back, just connecting everything together. And I'm just going piece by piece, section by section. I'm trying not to grab huge chunks. I'm grabbing just, manageable pieces and I'm just pulling it back and I'm cutting. And now this step is crucial. Put a texture spray or something light, like a light pomade, a light clay, something that can move freely, and hit it with the blow dryer while the hair is damp. Hit it with the blow dryer, get a good shape going. Now, once the hair is dry and it's pretty much in a good shape, you're going to be able to see if there's anything that you need to clean up or fix or if there's heavy or bulky spots, but go through and blow dry their hair completely. And now an easy way to find where that natural middle part is, pull it all back with your fingers or a comb and then just kind of bump it forward and you'll see kind of where the hair splits naturally. And that's going to be where that middle part lives. And now from here, you got your curtain bangs in the front. Kind of give them a little brush back just to kind of see how they're laying. If they're a little bulky, give them a little trim. If not, and they blend nicely, just leave them alone. And now because I want this haircut style to move a little bit freely and kind of have like that lived in look, I'm hitting them with a little bit of hairspray while the hair is damp. And I'm just combing it into the shape that I want it to stay in. And now I know I just threw a lot of information at you at a little bit of time, but you do all those steps together and you should have something that looks like this, give or take your style and the twist that you put onto it. But this is a shop-friendly way to do a nice flow, middle part, curtain bangs, with just a little bit of a taper on the sides.